School year. Nikki Bosselman, Sandy Brown, Linda Lindquist, Robin Chamberlain, Melissa Lee. Recommend to approve the following as SLO committee members for the 2019-2020 school year. Mike Blue, Sandy Brown, Kirsten Kaufman, Andrea Deal, Chris Gagan, Jeff Haught, Andy Hunter, Linda Lindquist, Jeff Slattery, Heather Taylor. Recommend to approve all certified staff in grades K through 6 for after-school intervention at a rate of $28.24 per hour for the 2019-20 school year, to be funded through federal Title I-A grant funds or the general fund. Recommend to approve Library Media Center extended hours for Christy Hoffman at a rate of $28.24 for the 2019-2020 school year. Any discussion?
I got several things whenever.
Okay.
Okay, Sandy Brown, the lab coordinator for 2018-19, what was the?
She wasn't paid last year. Isn't that the reason why?
No, I don't think she was paid last year.
She wasn't paid.
Okay, got it.
For this current fiscal year.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay,
Right.
and then, and I ask this to Jeff, I think every year, are you still happy with doing multiple athletic directors? Is that still working out okay?
It's working out just fine for now.
Okay.
It's time to adjust and change, and we'll tackle that piece. I know that was something one of my first couple of years we were discussing, because at that time Paul was looking into retirement, and then working with Jeff Hall, being the AD here for a long, long time. He was the AD back when I was in high school, and then he took a hiatus for a few years and came back. He likes the way it's set up now, and it's hard to find people that are that committed, so Paul still has that time, we're gonna take advantage of that time.
Okay. And then on the Pride, I don't remember in the past where did we do that before we've approved everybody?
Well, no, we haven't. We used to do it just the ones that want to do it.
Okay.
But it's easier because somebody picks it up in the middle of the year and we didn't have them approved, and then we'd have to throw it on. So we just approved them all, but it's all paid for through the high school's money, right? Or no?
No.
General fund money.
That is?
Mhm.
Yes, and only one person can do it at a time, set up on a schedule, routine scheduled day, so what will happen is in August when they come back, we'll say, okay, who wants to do Pride, and they'll tell us, and we'll establish a calendar of who's doing it, so we're not adding additional cost.
That's what I was wondering, I didn't know if
Yeah,
anybody
no.
every day.
No,
I'm
it's
doing
only
Pride
one
every day,
person,
so.
yeah.
Okay.
So there could be one person each day, Monday through Thursday, that can do Pride or 0 hour, one from the high school to the middle school.
Okay.
But it could be a different person each day. That's why we approved
Makes
them
sense,
all.
yep, no, I just didn't know, could everybody, pretty soon we're, getting
Oh,
pretty
yeah.
expensive.
Yeah, no.
Okay, so Sandy Brown didn't get approved last year in order to be paid
Well,
or something?
she wasn't approved like during this fiscal year, so
Okay.
she had kind of questioned the stipend, and we were all, she'd never been put on, so we had.
She never was put on.
Right.
So we
she
don't
was
need to
never
put her on for next year?
Well, that's what I
We-
was looking while
we
we were
will,
reading
yes.
that, yeah.
Okay,
Is that what she
All right.
Unless you want her added now.
I would put it on now. and then
I
we'd
would
have it
too,
done.
is
Can we
she
do it
gonna
now?
do it again?
Yeah.
Yeah.
okay, so that would be like on page 10 at the end of that list
Yeah.
of people? Okay, so we're adding Sandy Brown.
I was looking at that actually while you were reading it.
Yeah.
It's like, well, why don't we have her on for this?
I know,
coming
that's what I looked back too.
Land
Okay.
lab.
You're gonna
Sandy
have to read
Brown,
that all
Land
over
Lab
again now.
Coordinator.
year?
Come on. Okay, so we added on page 10, at the bottom of the top column, Sandy Brown, Land Lab Coordinator. Anything else? Principals all sounded right to you? Okay,
And there are some supplementals that were not filled. Part of our
Right.
checkout process now is, when Mr. Hunter showed up, he's young, he understands a lot of Google Docs and technology and stuff. And we created a Google form to check out where the teacher's going, and they provide all the details and information that we need to check out. And on that, we added the supplementals that they currently have, and then supplementals that they want to add or drop. And it's been great because that's why we can add all those names now.
Good.
Going into next year and get them all approved, so, but there are still additional ones that need to be added.
yep. All right, anything else? Okay, roll call, please.
Carrier.
Yes.
Iden.
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
Mazer.
Yes.
And Wonderly.
Yes.
Okay, motion carried 5-0. I need a motion to approve the following volunteer.
I'll move. I'll second.
Okay, Jared and Craig, thanks. Recommend to approve the following volunteer for the 2019-20 school year. Steph Mazur, freshman class advisor, volunteer.
Has she done a background check?
Fingerprint?
She's safe.
DNA?
We can get it.
Over and over again.
Well,
Yeah.
thank you for doing it,
I'll
because
say.
I know it's a lot of work.
Yeah, but it's a lot of fun too.
Good, thank you.
You know, is there any way, and that, let's say, because Steph is, you know, she's a volunteer, if she wasn't on the board, she would get paid. Is there
Correct.
any way that, and I don't even know if Steph would want to do that, I'm just throwing this out, but where she could take that money, not take it, and funnel it to an organization, an athletics, anything, so she could earmark that money? Because, I mean, she's,
She earmarked it for Eric Crawl and the other person, and then they're gonna figure to do it to life.
She would still have to accept that and then
donate
be
it.
taxed on that. And then have to make a personal donation, but because she's a board member, she,
Can't do that.
So the answer's no.
I guess.
Okay.
I'm
Thank
trying,
you.
Steph.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you. All right, roll call, please.
Carrier?
Yes.
Iden?
Yes.
Jones?
Yes.
Mazer? And Wonderly?
Abstain.
Yes.
Okay. Motion carried 4-0 with one abstention. All right, I need a motion for the employment of classified staff.
I'll move.
I'll second.
Okay, Steph and Jen. Recommend to approve Allison Sturry as a high school office helper for the summer of 2019 for a maximum of 30 hours at minimum wage. Recommend to approve Cassie Brown as kindergarten jumpstart teaching assistant at a rate of $15 from August 12th to August 16th, 2019. Recommend to approve LMC extended hours for Connie Klinker at a rate of $17.04 for the 2019-2020 school year. Recommend to approve Sheila Baker as a classified substitute for the 2019-20 school year. Recommend to approve the following supplemental contracts for the 2019-20 school year. Ashley Baum, flag instructor. Shane Bostic, co-assistant football coach. Shelley Camaso, senior class advisor, 1/3. Eric Kroll, freshman class advisor, 1/2. John Deal, freshman boys basketball coach. Whitney Flotketter, is that right? Okay. Cheerleading assistant, grades 9 to 12. Angie Fries, freshman volleyball coach. Bailey Graber, cheerleading advisor, grades 7 to 8. Nikki Miller, cheerleading advisor, grades 9 to 12. Danelle Myers, sophomore class advisor, 1/3. Amanda Ridgway, junior class advisor. Jamie Slattery, sophomore class advisor, 1/3. Christine Steeman, assistant junior high girls basketball coach and head junior high girls basketball coach. Christina Tadson, assistant junior high volleyball coach. Jenny Turnbull, junior class advisor. Recommend to approve the resignation from Jay Turnbull as football assistant coach for the 2019-20 school year. Recommend to approve the resignation from Carmen Vasquez as freshman volleyball coach for the 2019-20 school year. Recommend to approve the following as volunteers for the 2019-2020 school year. Kara Johns, girls basketball. Jay Turnbull, football. Bob Weatherhead, girls basketball. Clark Zartman, girls basketball. Any discussion? All right, roll call, please.
Carrier?
Yes.
Iden?
Yes.
Jones?
Yes.
Mazer?
Yes.
And Wonderly?
Yes.
Motion carried, 5-0. A motion to approve the classified staff employment.
I'll move. I'll second.
Craig and Jared, thanks. Recommend to approve Christine Schock as a classified substitute for the 2019-2020 school year. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Carrier?
Yes.
Iden?
Yes.
Jones?
Yes.
Mazer?
Abstain.
Wonderly?
Yes.
The motion carried 4-0 with one abstention. I need a motion to approve services and agreements.
I'll move. I'll second.
Jen and Steph, thank you. Recommend to approve the following rate for high school summer 2019 classes. $60 per credit for summer credit recovery through the Hicksville Digital Learning Center per course. Recommend to approve a service agreement with Northwest Ohio Juvenile Detention Training and Rehabilitation Center from July 1st, 2019 through June 30th, 2020. Amount of service is $44 per student per weekday for for students assigned to NWO, JDT, and RC. Recommend to approve a memorandum of understanding by and between Defiance College and Hicksville Exempted Village Schools from July 1st, 2019 through June 30th, 2020 for the hosting of education, intern, and practicum students. Recommend to approve the service agreement with the Northwest Ohio Educational Service Center for services beginning July 1st, 2019 and ending June 30th, 2020. The estimated cost of service is $819,622.71. Recommend to approve renewal agreement from Griffin Insurance for voluntary student accident insurance program for the 2019-20 school year. This policy is underwritten by Guarantee Trust Life. Recommend to approve agreement with Northwest Ohio Computer Association for the 2019-20 fiscal year 20 membership fees. The estimated cost of service is $37,370.21. Recommend to approve a service agreement with Northwest Ohio Virtual Academy for licenses and other instructional materials for the 2019-20 school year. The estimated cost of service is $2,750. Any discussion?
Education Service Center, what were we at last year? Do you remember ballpark?
Isn't
it six?
It's over 700,000.
It was over 700? Okay, I thought it was around the 600, but it's still,
High.
yeah.
It's a lot.
When you do 5-year forecast, how do you figure that for Educational Service Center? I mean, how can you guesstimate for ups and downs?
I
mean, with
just
that?
guess, I think
Because-
like 3%.
Okay, because I mean, I would think a lot of it
3%
Yeah,
each
but this
year.
one
Yeah.
would depend on, you know, the kids and there'd be so many
It does, and it
variables
seems like
that
head
would-
counts in special ed just continue to go up. You can't really, I just usually try to think 3% in purchase services as a whole usually
Mhm.
is what I estimate, so I know like on this one, there was some additional then, that, because I think we were at what, 760, I think 760 some thousand is what they're projecting the initial cost estimate for fiscal year 20 to be.
Okay.
And then we had elected to add on to that, so that's why it bumped up over 800.
Okay.
Okay. Roll call, please.
Carrier? Yes. Iden?
Yes.
Jones?
Yes.
Mazer?
Yes.
And Wonderly?
Yes.
The motion carried, 5-0. I need a motion to approve the resolution of intent.
I'll move.
I'll
Is
second.
that you?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, and Jen's going to second it. Whereas the Ohio Revised Code Section 3313.90A requires each city, local, and exempted village school district to provide for students in grades 7 through 12 career technical education by means of establishing and maintaining a program, by being a member of a joint vocational school district, or by contracting with a joint vocational school district or another school district. And whereas Division B of Section 3313.90 provides that a Board of Education may adopt a resolution not to provide career technical education to students enrolled in grade 7, grade 8, both grades 7 and 8, and will receive a waiver from the Ohio Department of Education so long as the said resolution is filed by September 30th of that particular school year. Now therefore, be it, and it is, hereby resolved, that while the Hicksville Exempted Village Board of Education recognizes the importance of providing adequate training for students to enter their selected occupations, the board hereby adopts this resolution notifying the Ohio Department of Education of its intent not to offer career technical education for students enrolled in grade 7, grade 8, or both grade 7 and 8 during the 2019 school year. And be it further resolved that the Hicksville Exempted Village Board of Education respectfully requests that the Ohio Department of Education issue the waiver required by Ohio Revised Code Section 3313.90B. And be it further resolved that the treasurer, CFO, is hereby directed to certify and submit a copy of this resolution to the Ohio Department of Education at the earliest opportunity, so as to ensure its receipt by the department on a date which is in no event later than the 30th day of September 2019. Any discussion? So we opt for Ford County to take care of that, or
We-
for this,
Yeah.
that's who takes care of it for us, right? Okay. All right. Roll call, please.
Carrier? Yes. Iden?
Yes.
Jones?
Yes.
Mazer?
Yes.
And Wonderly?
Yes.
Motion carried 5-0. I need a motion for approval of other business.
I'll move.
Okay,
I'll second.
okay, thanks, Jim. Recommend to authorize the superintendent to grant approval for teams involved in overnight state tournaments for fall, winter, and spring sporting events. Recommend to approve the elementary school student handbook for the 2019-2020 school year. Recommend to approve the following student fees for the 2019-20 school year. Preschool, $45, grades K through 12, $55. Recommend to approve the following breakfast lunch prices for the 2019-2020 school year. Grades K to 12 breakfast, $1.50. Extra milk, 50 cents. Grades K to 4 lunch, $2.65. Grades 5 to 12 lunch, $2.95. Adult lunch, $3.50. Recommend to approve the activity advisor and coach handbook for the 2019-20 school year. Recommend to approve the middle school, high school athletic code handbook for the 2019-20 school year. Recommend to approve the drug testing policy for the 2019-20 school year. This policy applies to all students in grades 9 through 12. Recommend to approve the athletic ticket prices for the 2019-20 school year. Recommend to approve the following athletic department issues for the 2019-20 school year. Involvement in indoor track events at no cost to the school district. Recommend to approve participation in the National School Breakfast Lunch Program and the Title I and Title IIA programs for the 2019-20 school year. Recommend to approve the certification of standards governing types of foods and beverages sold on school premises report from the Ohio Department of Education for the 2019-20 school year. Recommend to extend recognition and appreciation to Community Memorial Hospital for providing 71 physicals to prospective athletes on Friday, May 17th, 2019. Any discussion? Okay, so the lunch prices had to go up a dime to even get us to the state minimum.
Right, the only places that changed was great, K-4 lunch went up a dime, and the high school lunch went up a dime.
Okay.
And we're still not at the state minimum.
We're not at it yet, but we're working toward it with a dime.
Right.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Community Memorial Hospital, for our athletes. That's awesome. Okay, anything else? Discussion? Okay, roll call, please.
Carrier?
Yes.
Iden?
Yes.
Jones?
Yes.
Mazer? And Wonderly?
Yes.
Motion carried, 5-0. Okay, old business. Traffic study report.
Yes.
That was a long one.
Uh-huh.
That took a lot of brain power.
Especially on my phone.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was a long one. And in that report, it's easier just to refer to the picture, but in the report, they had adding recommended an additional lane on Route 2 from the bus loop to the main entrance, and then continue that lane all the way up through the parent pickup loop. And in looking at that and thinking about that, I think that's all, great ideas. But we also thought that having an additional lane from Route 2 clear to the new drive would be an asset, because then you've always got the one lane that can keep moving coming in and one each way, and then the center lane can be your turning lanes for the people that would need to turn. So the traffic can keep flowing. And so I said that to the traffic committee, and so they drew a new drawing, which is what I have here for you, showing that additional lane going from Route 2 all the way to
The drive.
the drive, yeah. And none of this, obviously, has happened yet, obviously, and it can't until the architect draws it up, which I'll report on that next.
So the,
Minda actually had a great idea. I don't know if you want to share that or not, Minda, but I think it's worth considering.
the part about Route 2, or what other part?
Yeah, that part.
Okay, I said, all right, if we're gonna add that extra lane all the way in the elementary lot, okay, it's gonna come in and merge, so there'll be 2 lanes coming into that spot instead of 1. So he thought maybe about 10 to 12 cars. And then if you think they're gonna have their own lane that they're turning in, so the rest of the traffic will have an actual lane to go past them. So I question why we should put the money into putting the extra lane on State Route 2. I think that's gonna be really expensive because of the ditch and an extra lane. It's gonna be a lot of state permits. It's gonna be,
Because once they
A lot
turn
of
in,
things.
they're in the turn lane anyway.
yeah. So I
Why
said,
do they
why
need a
don't
turn
we
lane on two?
wait, do these changes this year and see what happens?
When you say these changes.
Okay, that would be putting the extra lane into the elementary drop-off. Okay, an extra lane there.
That one?
Yep.
It would be putting a lane all the way through from the back up. So actually, where we have 3 lanes at the road now, we'll actually have 4. We'll have a lane coming into the elementary drop-off. We'll have a lane going straight through. They can go to the middle school lot, the big staff lot, or the main event lot. That won't be stopped by people going into the elementary. They'll be in their own lane.
So then you don't want it to be a straight or a turn like it's marked, that lane,
The first lane in will be a have-to turn.
right? And they
The
have,
second lane in will have to go straight.
okay, because they have it marked either
Straight
or,
and
straight
road.
or turn.
Well, as it gets past that drive, they can start to turn. As it gets past the elementary loop, they can turn into the middle school drive, they can turn into the staff
They
lot, they
can't
can turn in.
stop there.
Well,
That
Yeah,
has
but
to
wouldn't you
be-
want
yeah,
that,
but I'm just
wouldn't you
wondering
want
how
it
many
to be
people are
straight?
going to.
Wouldn't you want that to be straight, and then when you get up here, it would be
Yeah,
like a turn?
I see what you're saying. It
People are
should
gonna
show
get
that
to
turn
that
lane.
straight or turn lane, and they're gonna wanna turn into the elementary loop, so they're gonna stop right there. And those lanes are gonna wanna merge into the elementary loop.
Right, they won't.
And they'll have
Have to
to,
go up
they'll
the
have to
flag.
figure it out. They'll have to figure it out. But then there would be 2 lanes coming out.
Right.
The old lane that we have, but the old lane would be a turn
Left.
lane.
Yep.
They'd be, turning into those lots. The other lane would be a straight out. And when they get to the road, then it would be like it is now. 1 lane turn toward town, 1 lane turn
Right.
toward country.
Yep.
But if we decide that come the end of September, this is not working, we still have people backed up on State Route 2, we've talked about in the past saying, okay, we are gonna dismiss elementary students from the main event entrance. We would save a ton of money by not putting in that extra lane on Route 2.
Right.
And our option is, if we still have problems, we could do the main event entrance.
And down the line, we could always,
Is the thought doing this and not the road to 18?
Oh, no.
No, you're doing
No, no,
both.
still do the road to
She's-
18.
The
she's,
extra-
she's
the
saying just
extra
not do
lane.
this
No,
part right here.
yeah, I get that, but I mean, we already know, how much that's gonna cost, or a ballpark, running another lane all the way down, running a lane here. I'm for it all, but
Well,
we only have, we have a pot, and the more we take for these roads.
I agree with you.
The less we have for over here, so would we want to, we do the road out to 18, and then we say, okay, you know what, how are things going now, and then evaluate, do we need to do this? I'm just afraid we're gonna end up wrapping up $700,000-800,000 here.
I know.
That'd be my only concern.
Right.
You
We did the traffic study because it's recommended by people in the community, and we thought that was a great idea
I
to do
agree,
that.
I'm with you there,
So that's not saying we have to do these things, I'm just,
I mean, really, Craig, if we wanted to, we're gonna get an estimate from the paving company, whoever comes in, we can do an estimate with
Each piece.
1, 2, and 3.
I agree, I think,
Yep.
And
there's
that way
no
we
reason not to. I would
know,
agree with that.
You know, cause I'm kinda in with you on this being a last resort, cause it probably will cost money. But you know what, until we hear from the paving company, maybe we just approach it with them as 1, 2, and 3.
price it out separate.
Yeah.
Now, would we price that out, or would our architect price that out? How would that?
Well, you have to bid it, you have to go out to bid, so first thing that has to happen is the architects have to draw it up, and then it goes to bid. And you had said something about if we see that the end of September, it's not, working, then we'll look at another option. I hate to break this news to the community, but it's probably not even gonna be started, in September. We hoped it would be, but there's so much.
I understand. I think a lot of people understand that
Yeah,
too.
red
you know,
tape
as long
and
as they
stuff.
know that it's
We
an
wanna
end
go as
site.
soon as possible, and we know that we can work on this, the drive or whatever we're gonna do here before we start the actual building project for the building. That we do know. We had, you know, you get excited about it when you hear about it, was hoping that we could start right away this summer. So, reality, we need to get on it if we're gonna do any part of it, because they stop asphalting in near the end of October, I believe.
You know, if, once you put something out for bid, when are you locked in?
Yeah.
When are you to the point of, you know what, you're committed, you have to go forward?
Yeah, I spoke with the architect today, because I wanted to have a little bit more information for you guys. So, it'll take them about a month to draw it up, 3 to 4 weeks to draw it up, and then another 3 weeks or so for it to go out to bid. And then, another, let's see, did I write that down in here? And then the process of opening the bids and stuff, that takes, you know, there's a process about doing that. So reality, he said it'd be about 3 months before they'd start.
End of
2 to,
September.
And then.
2 to 3 months.
Then I mean, if whatever company wins the bid can even fit us in their schedule, you know, or their, you know, what they're
I
already.
think there'd be a stipulation in the bid, there'll be a time frame on when they would be able to do it, so I think we'd probably have a pretty good idea going on that.
Well, I'm just
part of it.
saying, even if we award the bid to company A tonight, they may not be able to start for, you know, another month or two. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's saying their bid will probably say.
Yeah, we'll have a
Right.
stipulation saying it
Yeah.
has to be started by
Yeah.
X amount of time.
Right,
So-
I mean, expecting wise, they're not gonna be able to start like, you know. the
Well,
next
you're right, I
day.
mean, yeah, a good bid is probably, I mean, it's gonna be a month or two, I
Right,
would
yeah.
certainly
Mhm.
think, and
Well, the most economical way to do it would be to put the road in from the back and have those people have to drop off at the main event entrance. They can't come up into the traffic flow from the front.
Right.
And that all of the K-4 people will dismiss from the main event entrance. That's the cheapest way. And that's what the state recommended last year, because then you're housing those cars on your property.
Well, they actually recommended dismissing from the red zone door in the back.
Yeah, even worse.
And we're not gonna do that.
No, we
There's
can't.
There are no windows, it's
No.
not a safe option.
No, we would not.
But, you know, from talking to him today, it sounded like, you know, it would be September before they would be able to start.
I would also be curious to know from a
Which
legality standpoint.
School will be going then too.
Yeah. If, once a recommendation is made to us, how obligated from a legal standpoint are we? Because if something would happen and they'd say, you know what, you had plans in front of you that we felt would fix it, and you chose not to do that.
You- what do you-
Okay, so we have a traffic study, we paid for a study, they come back, they give us our results, and we ignore it. And then something happens out there, there's a car accident.
I don't think anything.
No.
I would think that there'd be some liability there to say, hey, you knew there was a problem, you had a traffic study, they gave it to you in writing, you chose not to do anything with it.
Yeah.
That would be my only concern, but.
No, that wouldn't hold up at all, would it?
I don't think so. I think, like, when you're going to an architect, it's their recommendation. You could go to somebody else, and they could give you something totally different. It's not, they're not gonna hold you to that. You've paid for their services. You've paid for them to come out and give you the study. If you opt not to go with
That
that.
doesn't mean you have to do it.
No.
Right.
Yeah. And we've had wrecks out there already, Craig.
Well, I know,
On the parking
no, I
lot,
yeah, I
so,
get that.
Yeah,
I mean, we know there's problems, and that's why we've,
yeah.
we're trying to
Yeah,
fix
yeah.
it.
I mean, you know, I think it was wise for us to do the study, and, you know, they've presented us with some options to consider. I
Oh.
like what Jen said about pricing it out separately.
Okay, because in all actuality, we can't do the elementary loop in September. we will have a nightmare.
Right.
So even if we decided we wanted to do that, that has to hold off till spring. So really, elementary people, sorry, Kirsten, they're gonna have to figure out an alternative to get us through. You know, if the elementary loop is not working anymore, like it is, then how could we make another entrance work?
But
Could it be your middle school, high school door? You know, would that be enough to make it be the middle school, high school door? I don't know that you'd get that many more cars in.
A lot of time up there, I come up with nothing.
I think the only good thing is we dismissed earlier, and so by the time that you guys are dismissed,
That isn't the problem. The problem is the elementary people sitting, waiting on you to dismiss.
Right.
So no matter what time you dismiss, they'll still be sitting there.
the kid, you need to go up
The
to
The
car.
parents out there.
Yeah.
Well, maybe
Better
we'll
45
have to
minutes
send
early.
them to another, I mean,
If we had this
Send them to an alternate dimension.
we have a larger percentage coming from that direction, and you'll have some of them waiting to turn left, so they're not outside that two anymore.
Which, if you.
We'll slow it down.
If you don't, it will, without that additional lane, then you're gonna have a line that way too.
Think about the main event entrance. That would get
It's-
the most cars
Yeah.
off the road.
You have a whole line all the way, I mean.
That'd be
I'm-
okay?
I'm going to, I'm going
It's
to
okay.
say, and I'm pretty confident in saying this, that you can make these changes, and you're still gonna have people stopped and parked or waiting on campus at some point during that dismissal time in particular. You know, when you have people that come out an hour early and sit there and wait every day,
amazing?
which makes no sense to me at all, but whatever, then it just backs up where, you know, I mean, if I was a parent and I knew my kid wasn't even gonna even get out till 2:50, I wouldn't even come out here till like 2:55.
Right.
You know, but everybody's different and they all do their own thing. So if they want to sit there and wait, then what the option will be, I mean, the part that concerns me is people stopped on Route 2.
Yes,
I
it
think
is.
that's the real safety,
So-
It is.
Just
the
a
safety
suggestion.
concern. So if they want to
So
wait,
if-
we'll dismiss from the main event and they can wait in a long line on campus.
If we could get the road in, could we have the elementary, like, cut off your entrance on 2 and make them enter on 18? And then they turn, you know, almost.
Reverse it.
Reverse it, and they leave that way, and then make the high school
Well,
only leave on 18.
bad thing though is you then have kids trying to climb or come
You
across.
have kids cutting through traffic to get on the other side of the door,
Instead of the
which you
door
do,
being
you
right
do
there for them.
sometimes, but.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever seen people follow my directions out there.
Mhm.
They don't.
They run right over a code. It takes one person to stop the entire line.
And they'd hate all having to go out 18 and come in.
Or if they stop and get out of their car while they're in a loop that should be continually moving because they want to walk their kid in, that's not acceptable. They need to, if they're going to do that, they should park in the parking lot.
That's frustrating.
Yeah, and you may not catch it, you know, if you're out there and stuff, even sometimes you may not catch it till, like, well, whose car is that? Why is it stopped there?
I'm not in the cars.
Yeah. So, to me, the biggest safety concern of the whole thing is when there's cars stopped on Route 2.
It is.
And
In the
that's
afternoon.
where, I mean, that's where the frightening things happen, like
Yes, it
a
is.
semi wanting, hey, I'm in a hurry and I want to pass this whole lane of traffic,
right,
and it's
Steph.
just a
That is right.
nightmare.
Well, you
That's
know,
right.
and you, obviously you wouldn't do it for safety reasons, but I can understand them being frustrated. I mean, you sit back there for how long? You may sit there for 15, 20 minutes.
You might sit there for an hour.
But I mean, you know, right there on State Route 2, and,
Yeah.
you know, it's your livelihood. People make bad decisions then.
Okay, so,
I think, I'm just saying, starting the year out, it's gonna be just like it was last year, I can guarantee that, because nothing will be started. What we decide to do, I think, is, let's get the architect, let them draw it up,
Bid it in 3
the
parts.
road will be separate, and then we can price that additional lane that runs right straight through as one price, and the additional lane in the parent loop is another price, or the elementary loop is another price.
So, go ahead.
I think we can do that, I don't see why we
Are
can't.
you saying just like from the end of this road to 18, or you're saying this
From
whole
here-
extra lane?
From here, that whole extra lane on the main drive, from Route 2 to where
Okay.
the drive to 18 starts,
Right,
not
okay.
3 lanes all the way out to 18.
Right.
So in this, the loop, the elementary loop, I'm not understanding necessarily, are we having 2 lanes just partially, and then they're
Mhm,
trying to
and then they
meld
merge.
into traffic,
They would
right?
merge,
Here.
right, Steph.
And then, okay, so that is rather frightening in and of itself, because people don't necessarily have proper etiquette even
But,
now.
I
You
mean,
ever
they
go to
do a
McDonald's, you know,
fairly,
they have the 2 lanes.
they do a
Just-
fairly good job of
You know,
taking
if they do the
turns.
zipper method.
They do
Actually,
out there in the
Steph-
afternoon.
I would
Yeah.
say
I think
they do a
figured it out.
decent job with that, because
merging
they
out.
stop and let people come out. I mean,
Every other
they're
car.
pretty good
Mhm.
about that, I think people are.
Yeah, and I think that's a lot better than what happens at the middle school, high school thing, where people are in 2 lanes and kids are like.
No, yeah, that shouldn't be happening there either.
Mhm.
That-
But it does.
It does, and it should not be happening. I mean, that's drivers pulling up on the other side because they don't want to wait in that single file line. Well, don't come out so early, and then you won't have to wait. But, yeah, they should not, we shouldn't, yeah, we stop that when we see kids like, no, you're not gonna do that. We don't want them walking between cars. That's an accident waiting to happen for sure.
So just to confirm, we're gonna price it out from 18 to 2 as one option. But,
From the
18
back
to
of our
our back of our.
campus to 2.
Yeah.
well, I mean,
Where the drive
The
starts.
new
you're
road.
automatically
The new-
gonna add in lanes here, right?
Not automatically. I mean, this is just an option we can consider.
Well, I definitely think we at least need a right and a left, like our right-hand turn lane, everybody's in the dirt. Oh, yeah, right at the road?
Mhm.
Well, there's there's a right.
There is,
Yeah,
it's not
but-
long
but
enough.
it's not long enough.
It's like 2 car lanes.
Yeah,
and
you have to wait
So
till
people
get
go
to
over
the-
into the
Yeah,
grass
dirt,
and.
Right.
Yeah, I do that. So that's one option, and then this is our second, and then this is our third segments that they're gonna price out.
I'd say not, I would say don't even bid the Route 2.
road.
I'd say the second option would be adding that 3rd lane all the way
Well,
from
I
the
think-
back.
I
Our
think,
first option is the drive to 18.
well, I would like to know, if it comes down to it, and nothing else works, I think number 3 here,
That would actually, yeah.
we at least need to know how much it would be. If we're not, we're probably not gonna do it right away, but at least have an idea of how much it's gonna be,
Okay,
in my opinion.
yeah.
While they're doing it, they're doing everything else.
Okay. I'm writing down. Route 2 would be the 3rd option. Okay,
And then we can make
so working
decisions
on the,
based on how much it is and
yeah,
when, and,
I think it's probably gonna be more of them giving an estimate, saying we think this is gonna be how much, but until they put
Right.
it out for bid.
right.
But
And
I
that's-
still think that once it's out for bid, I think we're locked in at that point in time, but.
You don't have to do it that
No,
way.
you don't have to do
You
it.
don't have to do it. You can
Okay.
say, I don't like
Until
any
you
of the bids,
accept the
so we're not
bid.
doing
Yeah,
it.
you don't have to accept any of the bids. But if say the engineer says it's gonna cost you 300,000 and it comes in at 5, if it's over 10% of the engineer's estimate, then all of it's scrapped and you start all over.
Yeah, you don't have to do it.
Get a bid you like.
okay, I forgot what I was gonna ask about that. Okay, but we're positive that this is not gonna happen before school, so we have to think about that during the school year, September and October, all we're gonna be able to do is the new road. And
And the-
anything else that we even decide,
In the far right lane, the right turn lane.
maybe.
maybe.
Because they're pretty much
I think
connected, right?
that far right turn lane has to be at least to the high school start,
Right.
like where people start.
Like back,
Wouldn't that
say,
pretty
this
much
far.
connect to the drive to 18? Far right lane or no? Am I thinking?
Well, that's one of the things we're gonna price out.
Yeah.
I like Craig's idea of pricing those out separately like that. I think that's a
And
good
we
idea.
could still do that even though we would say, we would have them price that out thinking, letting them think that we would do that this fall yet.
Mhm.
Okay. Okay.
Which I think that one you could.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that one we could.
That one you could.
Yeah.
And putting that drive, that additional lane,
Mhm.
on that side does not require moving any lights,
Right.
which would be a savings,
There's trees.
so.
Yeah, maybe.
Get prices and see.
Yeah,
So it's,
no,
it's where you can do,
Okay.
which leads to the next,
So we have a plan for the architect.
Mhm.
Okay.
which leads us into the next old business to talk about.
Okay, architect contract, architect
Yes,
contract.
I have the contract ready to sign, and Melissa and I will look at that. Melissa will need to look at it tomorrow or whatever, and then we can get that signed and we send it to them. Their person will sign it and send a copy back. Then the process can get started as far as planning, which would be, I talked to Steve, the architect, today, which would be the drive first. So I'll share with him what we just talked about of getting separate pricing. And we'll start working on that. And then he helps us through the whole bidding process. He will help us do all of that. And he knows we want to
And
see
this-
if we can make any of it happen this fall yet.
These drawings were done by the
This was
traffic
done by
study.
the traffic study.
So I'm like, the architect, look at this and look at the whole problem, and
Right.
if you have suggestions, throw them in.
Right. Right. So, any other questions about the architect part? Okay,
Okay, so discussion, hail
Yeah.
damage.
yeah. So, we had, let's see, where's that information that I want to share?
Okay, while you're looking for that, I'll read this.
Okay.
This is a thank you note from Riley Figgins. Hicksville Board of Education, thank you so much for the $700 scholarship with which I was awarded. Every extra penny helps, and this scholarship, which will go towards my tuition at the University of Cincinnati, is a tremendous help. Thank you, Riley Figgins.
Okay, I'm going to just read this because this information came from Eric and John, and I think I have it worded that you can understand it. So, as you know, we had substantial hail damage to the PVC membrane portions of our roof, not the metal part, the flat surfaces. We've had the insurance adjuster out. The insurance company hired a forensic engineer to come out. And we've also had Cotterman and Richland Roofing Companies out to determine the next steps. They are estimating that there are thousands of little pinholes, cracks in the roof due to the hail. The roof is designed to withstand 3/4 inch hail, and we had 1.5 inch hail, and that was determined by this forensic engineer who got online and checked what the weather was on that particular day, so he has confirmation that we had 1.5 inches hail that day. And that roof is not designed to handle anything above 3/4 of an inch. So what happened is there's all these little, tiny little spots on the roof, and water leaked through. So when that happened, we didn't get a lot of rain that day. We got a lot of hail, not a lot of rain that day. And, maybe stuff started to leak through, but through the insulation and stuff, and it didn't come all the way through. And then it was like 2 weeks later, and we got that really big rain on a Sunday. Came in on Monday, and it was a flood in here. I mean, you can see all the stains here, in here, of leaks. So it's not just the roof, but all these tiles will have to be replaced, and there even talk about the insulation that may have gotten wet. So they've went up and caulked as many of the cracks as they could find, but we still have leaks. Currently, there are no leaks in the main gym, but if you remember, we just had that redone here not too long ago because of previous leaks. So they think that because that roof being newer, it was still pliable and hadn't had a chance to really dry out to where the hail would crack it. However, Eric, being the Eric he is, researched online and found that PVC membrane roofs that were hit with hail and do not show damage, sometime after a couple winters of freezing and thawing, those little things might appear, which it was from hail damage that might have been 2 years prior. So we know for sure that all the PVC membrane roof will need to be replaced, and the main gym is yet to be determined. And I have pictures here Eric has taken. This is one set, but I'll pass this around, but in particular, the one I wanted to show you is on this page. You can see pictures here, all those little white spots where they've caulked little tiny holes. And they do not have, I mean, they did not get all of the little tiny holes. I mean, it's just incredible how many there are up there. So, yeah, we're gonna get a new roof. And Eric's on it, you know how he operates, he's on it. I think we'll have the new roof before we find out who's gonna pay for it. Because we've gotta do it, I mean, we've got buckets sitting all over in the little gym.
It's gonna create more damage.
Yeah.
The longer it goes with it.
So do we know what our deductible is? Do we have any
So I was
ideas?
just gonna ask.
I sent the information into the insurance company, but I don't have our deductible information
Okay.
right now, but I mean, I did send out in the information, and I'm sure they'll let me know. I actually haven't heard anything back
Yeah,
at all.
the insurance company sent that forensic engineer out. He actually cut a portion of the roof out to take with him. So,
I mean, is there any chance that insurance won't cover it? I mean, is that a
I
concern
think
at all?
I don't think that there's a concern about that. The only concern I would say is that, are they gonna determine that, well, you didn't really need a whole new roof?
Are they gonna
Or they-
prorate it?
I
mean,
don't
Or they
know.
would say, well, you know,
Yeah.
it's 10 years old, the life's 20, we'll give you 50%, you know, I mean, gosh, this could get really expensive.
Right, so
yeah,
I'm hoping that they just pay for the new, you know, to have it reinstalled and fixed. But you know how insurance companies are sometimes. Usually though, the Ohio plan is really good. I can't ever complain. They usually take care of things, you know, efficiently,
yeah,
so.
the guy said clearly it's hail damage.
Yeah.
Clearly, I mean, it's so obvious. So, I think, you know, I don't know, Craig.
I'm just hoping that it's just like a
It is
deductible.
an unknown and it is really scary, but I can tell you that every time it rains, we still have a lot of leaks now. We had them all taken
Island
care
side,
of.
you know, the
That's so sad.
staff time to
Yeah,
get a lift and go up there and cut
if
tile.
insurance covers it, which I'm hoping that it will.
Then would you bring somebody in to do it or not?
Yeah, I'll cover all those tiles and any of the insulation that was wet will have to be replaced. School car had damage as well.
Oh, really?
Which I sent that in and I haven't heard anything back on that either. Eric had sent me a quote or something.
Yeah.
I need to
Wow.
call them.
Okay, anything else, discussion? All right. May I have a motion to go into executive session to discuss item number 1?
I'll move.
Okay, Jared,
Second.
Craig, thank you. Okay, it's been moved by Jared, seconded by Craig to hold an executive session between 7:48, let's say 7:55. Will be our enter-in time. There will be no action taken at the end of executive session. All right? So you have about 7 minutes and we'll start.
Oh,
We don't know that yet because we're gonna have to wait and see when we have to meet to do with them. We have a meeting tomorrow night at 5 o'clock PM. And that will be, we will go into executive session for personnel.